Okay, before I get started tonight, yes, Washington scored the winner on the power play in overtime in tonight's game. I'm previewing tomorrow's, but yeah. Um, I go through on my phone and I try to update things from the app as I get them. I put in who scored the goal from watching the game. I knew it was on the power play, but again, when I'm writing stuff down from the phone, it doesn't occur to me to, oh, wait, yeah, that was on the power play, so they're 1 for 4 instead of 0 for 3. Things happen, and again, it's because I knew I was going to be up late tonight getting the boards ready for tomorrow's games, because remember, I had to wait until the games were all done tonight so I could be sure that the stats I was going to put up here for you guys would be accurate. All right, let's jump into it with Boston. Nothing really to update with Boston when it comes to scoring because they didn't do any of that tonight. So tomorrow they get to come off their 4th shutout in 19 games. That's not good. But they're on pace to be shut out 16 times this year. So while everybody focuses on how great their first line is, man, when that first line gets shut down, there's nothing. There's just nothing. And I say that as a Bruins fan that wants to see them do well, but there's just nothing there. Not enough pushback against Dallas tonight. Anyways, they're 10-6-3. They're in against the 9-8-1 Arizona Coyotes. The Coyotes are playing much better this year than last year, and they look like they're going to be a threat. Now, whether they end up making the playoffs at the end of the year, who knows? But hey, scoring leaders, Boston's don't change. Bergeron, 9 goals, 17 assists. Just go watch today's preview. I'll wait. No, it's fine. Pasternak, 17 goals and 8 assists. Marchand, 6 goals, 14 assists. Krejci, 2 goals, 14 assists. DeBrusk, 7 goals, 2 assists. Grzelcyk, 1 goal, 7 assists. McAvoy, 1 goal and 5 assists. And Krug with 6 assists rounds out the top 8. On the Arizona side of things, Keller, 5 goals, 7 assists. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, 2 goals and 10 assists. Grabner, 5 goals and 5 assists, and a lot of his points are on the shorthanded side of things. Hinostroza, 4 goals, 5 assists. Galchenyuk, 3 goals, 5 assists. Stepan, 4 goals, 4 assists. Richardson, who is, of course, a special team specialist on the shorthanded side of things, too. 5 goals, 2 assists for him. And Goligoski, 1 goal, 6 assists. Halak is very likely to be the starter because Rask started tonight. Halak 6-2-2 with a 2.16 goals against, 932 save percentage. Rask took the loss tonight, but he's now 4-4-1 with a 2.78 goals against, 912 save percentage. This is the first time this season that we've seen Rask with a goals against safely below 3 and a save percentage safely above 900. So it's a good thing. Arizona's confirmed Kemper starting because Ranta's still hurting. 4-4-1 record for Kemper, 2.77 goals against, 917 save percentage. Miska will probably be backing him up. No record for him, 3.28 goals against, 889 save percentage. Ranta, 5-4 record, 2.10 goals against, 928 save percentage. And of course, with Ranta, he went through injuries last year. He's going through injuries this year. We're going to start hearing about, well, is he really, how is he in terms of his ability to stay healthy for a full season? When you're looking at shot differentials, Boston allows 25 more shots than they take. Arizona's taken 12 more shots than they allow. If you look at hits per game, Boston 20.2, Arizona also 20.2. So equal hitting teams in this one. Boston's got a 5-4-1 record in their last 10, but they've lost their last 2. Arizona's 6-3-1 in their last 10, and they won their last game. So your guess is as good as mine with this one. Although Boston, on the second half of back-to-backs, having been shut out tonight by Dallas, I expect them to come out strong against Arizona to start the game, but I'm a little bit nervous because Arizona's defense has been pretty solid. Their goaltending's been pretty solid. And Boston, as I said, has been shut out 4 times, and I'm nervous about it becoming 5. Next up, Montreal. They're 10-6-3. They're in against Vancouver, who are 10-9-2. Vancouver's glad to be home, but they've only had 1 day of rest after a 6-game road trip. Now they're back on the ice. I don't know who does the scheduling right now. I know it was computerized at one point, but if it's a computer, it's sentient and it hates Vancouver. On the Montreal side of things, leading scorers Max Domi with 10 goals, 13 assists. Thomas Tatar, 8 goals, 8 assists. Drouin, 6 goals, 9 assists. Petrie, 1 goal, 13 assists. Gallagher, 9 goals, 4 assists. Kokaniemi, 3 goals, 7 assists. Leikkanen, 2 goals, 8 assists. And Danault, with 1 goal, 9 assists, rounds things out for Montreal. This is the first time I have gone over a team this year and everybody's got 10 points or more. So That says something about the spread out scoring for the Montreal Canadiens. On the Vancouver side of things, almost as solid. Horvat, 10 goals, 8 assists. Pettersson is starting to struggle. He has 1 point in his last 5 games, and no goals, and he has 4 games with no points. So, Pettersson, 10 goals, 7 assists right now. Eriksson, 4 goals, 8 assists. Besser, 4 goals, 7 assists. Virtanen, 8 goals, 2 assists. Granlund, 4 goals, 6 assists. Goldobin, 2 goals, 8 assists. And Hutton with 4 goals and 8 assists. And then Monday, they get Winnipeg. Because, again, the schedule maker hates the Canucks. Goaltenders, Price, 6-4-3 record, 2.99 goals against, 899 save percentage. I would imagine he'll start tomorrow. I'd be very surprised if it's Niemi. Niemi's 4-2 though, with a 3.74 goals against, 887 save percentage. And I'm guessing Price, because while the iron's hot, you want to strike it. Price is going to want to play. Markstrom is going to end up playing tomorrow night. 7-5-2 record, 3.28 goals against, 896 save percentage. Bachman is on the board. He, of course, is 0-1 with a 6.00 goals against, 793 save percentage. Nilsson still 3-3. Still waiting for him to come back from injury. 2.67 goals against, 912 save percentage. Shot differentials. Montreal's a plus 21. Vancouver's a negative 73. So Vancouver, more goals against, more shots against. This all points to the fact that, yes, up until this past week, they were defying gravity. Gravity took hold strong this week. 26.6 hits per game by Montreal, which is high compared to what we might have expected. Although you've got Shaw on the ice and a couple other pretty big hitters. Vancouver 21.3, which is higher than Arizona and Boston, but it's still relatively low compared to other teams. Last 10, Montreal's 5-4-1. They won their last game. Vancouver's 4-4-2, and they've lost their last 4. So Vancouver looking to get off that slide. And yay, it's Montreal in tomorrow night. Now, traditionally, Montreal-Vancouver is a matchup that does not favor Vancouver at all. I'm not really anticipating that necessarily changing tomorrow night. But again, we knew this was going to be a long season for Vancouver. I don't think we anticipated that the schedule was going to make it worse. But here we are. And yet, between schedule and injuries, these things happen to the Canucks every year. It should not be a surprise. And if they weather this and they come through it stronger, there's that phrase that's not true. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It weakens you. Don't listen to them. Next up, Pittsburgh. Speaking of weakened, the Pittsburgh Penguins are 7-7-3. They're in against Ottawa, who are 8-3. So Ottawa and Pittsburgh have the same winning percentage this year. That's really strange, isn't it? I don't think we would have bet on that to start the season. Anyways, when you look at the scoring side of things, Malkin, 7 goals, 16 assists. Kessel, 9 goals, 12 assists. These are your leaders for the Penguins. Crosby, who's still out, 8 goals, 11 assists. Letang, 4 goals, 9 assists. Gensel, 6 goals, 6 assists. Hornquist, 7 goals, 3 assists. Simone, 4 goals, 6 assists. And Alexiak with 4 goals and 4 assists is still on the board. Not for much longer, though. There are guys who are going to catch him. Pearson was not great in that first game for Pittsburgh. We'll see how he does in game 2. He will be given every opportunity to succeed because Pittsburgh needs that. But there are a lot of rumors about Pittsburgh looking to make moves. Ottawa may be looking to make moves too, but are they still going to be sellers, or are they perhaps going to be looking at making a lateral move to improve the team and maybe move up in the standings? Shabbat has 5 goals, 17 assists to lead them in scoring. Stone, 7 goals, 14 assists. Duchesne, 6 goals, 15 assists. Tierney, 2 goals, 14 assists. Dzingel, 9 goals, 5 assists for him. Bobby Ryan, 5 goals, 7 assists. White, 6 goals, 5 assists. And Lajoie is on the board with 5 goals and 4 assists. Although Lajoie's scoring has been a lot slower in terms of rate than what it was at the start of the year. And that really wasn't something that was sustainable for Lajoie at all. He wasn't scoring like a defenseman, he was scoring like a forward. And at no point in his career had he shown that before. So, nice run he was on. He can start one again, but these points are getting more in line with where he might have been expected as an NHLer. Goaltenders, there hasn't been a confirmation on a goalie for Pittsburgh. I would expect a Smith. 3-2-2 record, 2.04 goals against, 938 save percentage. Of course, Murray, 4-5-1 record, 3.90 goals against, and an 883 save percentage. Mike Condon, 0-2 record, 6.38 goals against, 800 save percentage. McKenna, 0-1 record, 5.97 goals against, 857 save percentage. Anderson, 8-5-3 record for him. He will be starting, 3.53 goals against, 909 save percentage. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Pittsburgh gets 35-plus shots tomorrow because Anderson's in net and Craig Anderson's faced a ton of rubber this year. Shot differentials, Pittsburgh's got a negative 12 for the season. Ottawa has a negative 163 on the shot clock, which tells you that 8-8-3 record is nothing short of a miracle. Hits per game, Pittsburgh leads the league at 30.1. That's a ton. Ottawa's near the bottom with 19.2. Last 10, Pittsburgh's at 3-6-1. They've lost their last 2 games. Ottawa's 4-4-2, and they won their last game. Ottawa's good one game, bad one game. So, technically, they're due to be bad for one game. Pittsburgh, of course, has lost 7 out of 8 coming into this game, so they should be motivated to improve quickly, because I know it's early in the season, and I know I did a video today on how, they were barely 500 through 40 games last year. You can't bank on that year after year. You can't look at a team that's off to a bad start and go, yes, we're always off to a bad start. This means we're going to go on a great run in the second half. Because it doesn't always happen. Next up, Edmonton and Calgary. So here we go. It is a battle of Alberta, and both teams have a plus record. Edmonton's at 9-8-1. Calgary's at 10-8-1. Now, the problem is both of them have kind of fallen from where they were in the standings. And now San Jose leads the division. And coming out of tomorrow night, we may see San Jose still at the top. And if Edmonton wins in regulation over Calgary, it could be a 4-point lead for St. Louis tomorrow night. But, this is going to be an interesting game because Calgary's got the scoring depth. They absolutely have it. And if James Neal can get his scoring going, they have tons of things to look forward to. Both teams are looking at young, Koskinen, I'll still say youngish backup goaltenders that seem to be stealing jobs from the guys that were seen as the starters at the start of the year. And they have similar records, those starters do. But let's get to the scorers first. McDavid, 10 goals and 16 assists, 26 points. He'll be looking to get back to the top of the scoring heap in the NHL tomorrow night. Draisaitl, 11 goals, 9 assists. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 4 goals, 14 assists. Clefbaum, 8 assists. Chason, 6 goals, 1 assist. Reeder, 7 assists. Darnell Nurse, 2 goals, 4 assists. And Kajula has 6 goals to get into the top 8. On the Calgary side of things, Tkachuk, 9 goals, 12 assists. Lindholm, 9 goals, 10 assists. Monahan, 9 goals, 10 assists. So all of them with a lot of points. And there's Gaudreau tied with 6 goals, 13 assists. So four players with at least a point a game. And just below that's Giordano with 2 goals and 16 assists. Backlund, 3 goals, 7 assists. Frolik, 7 goals. And TJ Brody's on the list with 5 assists. The goaltenders, this is where they're basically in the same spot. Talbot has a 5-7-1 record, 3.09 goals against, and an 895 save percentage. He has been usurped by Koskinen, who's been confirmed as the starter tomorrow with a 4-1 record, 2.52 goals against, 918 save percentage. On the Calgary side of things, the confirmed starter tomorrow is David Rittich. 5-1 record, 1.91 goals against, 935 save percentage. He will be backed up by Mike Smith, who has a 5-7-1 record, 3.48 goals against, and an 876 save percentage. Save percentage much lower for Smith than for Talbot, but their records are exactly the same. Their goals against about a 0.4 difference, but both Alberta fandoms are very big on the idea of the backups taking over. So similar stories here. Shot differentials. Edmonton's taken 35 more shots than they've allowed. Calgary's taken 108 more shots than they've allowed, which is a lot. Although over 19 games, it's still about 4 or 5 more shots per game, so that's pretty good. Hits per game, Edmonton leads there with 23.9. Calgary's really low in that department with 15.4, which surprises me with some of the names that are in Calgary's lineup. They've got some guys that can hit. Last 10 games, Edmonton's 5-5. They won their last game. Calgary's 5-4-1, and they've lost their last 2. So neither of them are exactly burning up the charts and running to get to the top of the division. But they're both in the running because the Pacific Division is it's not on pace to have tremendous records from top to bottom. I'll put it that way. That's a nice way of putting it, and I'm going to leave it at that. Speaking of leaders in the Pacific, we'll move on to the actual leader of the Pacific, which is San Jose. They're at home tomorrow night against St. Louis. St. Louis coming off of a win tonight against Vegas. St. Louis is now again even at 7-7-3. The San Jose Sharks 10-7-3. Ryan O'Reilly leads them in scoring with 10 goals and 13 assists. He had a couple of goals tonight. Tarasenko 6 goals and 10 assists. So Tarasenko is quietly putting together a solid season now. Perron 5 goals 6 assists. Bozak 3 goals 8 assists. Steen 5 goals 5 assists. Braden Shen had a goal tonight. He's up to 10 points now with 4 goals and 6 assists. Schwartz is on the board, and that's huge for St. Louis. They really need him to get going. 2 goals, 7 assists. And Dunn is on the board with 3 goals and 5 assists. On the San Jose side of things, I've put 9 skaters on the board again. This is 2 games in a row I've done that with San Jose, and I'm sorry if it seems like I'm playing favorites here, but there's a reason. Burns leads the way with 3 goals, 19 assists. Meyer, 12 goals, 7 assists. Couture, 6 goals, 11 assists. Hurdle, 5 goals, 11 assists. Pavelski, 11 goals, 3 assists. Kane, 6 goals, 7 assists. LeBanc with 3 goals, 9 assists. Donskoy with 4 goals and 6 assists. And ninth on the list, normally would be just off, Erik Karlsson, right now with 10 assists. So Karlsson with a point tomorrow. If Donskoy doesn't get one as well, Karlsson hits the top 8 for the first time in a while. But he's close. Goaltenders, no confirmation on who's in. Allen played tonight. I'm guessing it's Johnson tomorrow. Allen, 5-4-3 record, 3.51 goals against, 890 save percentage. Johnson, 2-3 record with a 2.08 goals against and a 927 save percentage. On the San Jose side of things, I'm guessing it's Jones. Dell's got a 1-2-2 record with 2.96 goals against, 905 save percentage. And Jones, 9-5-1 with a 2.94 goals against, and his save percentage is down to 894. I'm losing hope that Martin Jones is going to get his save percentage up. Shot differential, St. Louis is at a negative 13. San Jose's at a plus 153. That's crazy. Plus 153, and yet they only have 10 wins in their first 20 games. That's wrong because they have a better shot differential than everybody except one team in the league. So that goaltending is hurting them right now. Hits per game, St. Louis 19.9, San Jose 17.1. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there won't be a whole lot of hitting tomorrow night. Last 10 games, both teams are sitting at 5-4-1. St. Louis has won their last game, which was tonight, of course, against Vegas. And San Jose lost their last game, which, of course, was the game against Toronto, right? Yeah. This is going to be an interesting game because San Jose is in a position where they can be the only Pacific team that's really entrenched in a playoff spot. Like, I don't know. Like, if Arizona wins tomorrow night and if Edmonton wins in regulation, and let's just say Vancouver wins in regulation, all 4 of them are basically tied when you look at winning percentage. So, and it's not a fantastic record, but you know what? It shows just how close Arizona is to perhaps knocking one of these teams out. San Jose right now has the advantage. Can they take advantage of said advantage? Can they actually move forward? That's the question. And for St. Louis, if you're going to move up, you're playing the games you got in hand on everybody else. Now's a really good time to do it. Next up, Detroit. 8-9-2. They're in against New Jersey, who are 8-8-1. New Jersey's excellent at home. Just throwing that out there. Detroit on the road, less excellent than they are at home. So this game would seem to favor New Jersey. We'll see. Detroit, their leading scorer is Dylan Larkin with 7 goals, 11 assists. Nyquist, 2 goals, 13 assists. Athanasiou, 7 goals, 5 assists. Nielsen, 10 assists. Bertuzzi, 5 goals, 4 assists. Cholowski, 3 goals and 6 assists for him. Mantha, 6 goals, 2 assists. Green with a goal and 7 assists. On the New Jersey side of things, Palmieri, 11 goals, 7 assists. Hall with 5 goals, 14 assists. Zajac, 7 goals and 7 assists. Hischier has 3 goals and 9 assists, which matches Damon Severson's totals to this point in the season. Coleman, 6 goals, 4 assists. Boyle, 6 goals, 1 assist. Vatanen with a goal and 6 assists. And that ties him with Will Butcher. So, overall, both teams have some decent scoring depth. Both teams have a lot of good young kids looking to prove themselves. This could be an exciting, fun little game. In net, I'm guessing it's Howard, but they might give him a night off. The morning. This is the morning game. They might give him the morning off based on the fact that his winning streak is over. Maybe they'll give Bernier the start. Howard 6-6-2 with a 2.64 goals against, 922 save percentage. Bernier 2-3 record with a 3.92 goals against, 891 save percentage. Keith Kincaid has been confirmed for New Jersey already. 8-5-1 record, 2.6 goals against, 917 save percentage, meaning Corey Schneider will go another day without a win. He has an 0-3 record, 4.82 goals against, 849 save percentage. When you look at shot differentials, Detroit's at a negative 123, and New Jersey's at a plus 17. When you look at the hits per game, Detroit's at 21.5 hits per game, New Jersey's at 23.9. Last 10, Detroit's at 7-3. They lost their last game. That was against Ottawa. And New Jersey's at 4-6. They've won 2 in a row, coming off of course, that big win against the Flyers. I want to say Penguins. Yeah, either way. I'm pretty sure they beat Pittsburgh and Philly. Anyways, the Devils now at home, and they have a much better home record than they have on the road, and they're looking to get that momentum back they had at the start of the year with that 4-game winning streak, which is long forgotten probably by everybody except me. I'm probably the only one that keeps bringing it up. But yeah, this game is one of those ones that may be a throwaway. People may ignore it, but New Jersey still has a lot of time, and they still have a lot of talent, and I think they can make up some ground. But you have to win a game at home against Detroit. And if Detroit wins this and goes back to 500, we'll see how much of a spoiler role they play this year. But at some point, they're going to fall back into the Jack Hughes sweepstakes. But for right now, it's kind of fun to watch, isn't it? All right, that being said, I'm going to go ahead and change boards. Okay, so next up, we have Tampa Bay, who are 13-5-1, in against the 9-9-1 Philadelphia Flyers. Interesting fact. Right now, Tampa, they're second in the division behind Toronto. Tampa has to win this game tomorrow to reclaim first place from the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is a game they have in hand, so we'll see what happens. But, it feels kind of good for me right now that Toronto's number 1 in the division, because there was a lot of flack I took when I said that could happen. So we'll see how far that goes. I did also pick Florida to finish 3rd in the division, and it doesn't look very likely right now. Anyways, Philly 9-9-1. They don't have a great record at home. They'll be looking to fix that tomorrow, but they're not going to get any sympathy from a Tampa Bay Lightning team that wants a win on a Saturday night. Leading Tampa in scorers, Braden Point, of course, with 12 goals and 10 assists. He's been fantastic this year. Kucherov, 7 goals, 14 assists. Gourde, 8 goals, 11 assists. Stamkos, 6 goals and 10 assists. Miller, 5 goals, 10 assists. Johnson, 6 goals, 7 assists. McDonough, 1 goal, 11 assists. And Killorn with 2 goals and 7 assists. On the Philly side of things, Giroux leads the way with 7 goals, 15 assists. So both of them have a leader with 22 points. Voracek, 5 goals, 12 assists. Couturier, 7 goals, 5 assists. Simmons, 7 goals, 3 assists. Lindblom, 4 goals, 6 assists. Patrick, 5 goals, 4 assists. Ghost to Spear with 3 goals, 6 assists. And Haig with 3 goals and 5 assists. That's why I just like to call him Ghost. Anyways, goaltending-wise, neither of them have confirmed goalies as of yet. Domingue, 4-2 record. 3.36 goals against, 889 save percentage. I'm guessing he's starting. I don't think they'll go with the American League goalie they've called up. Not just yet. Vasilevsky, 9-3-1 record. He's out for a month. 2.29 goals against, 927 save percentage. On the Philadelphia side of things, Elliott with a 6-7 record, 2.59 goals against, 911 save percentage. Pickard, 3-1-1 record, 4.33 goals against, 865 save percentage. Neuwirth, 0-1 record, 6.00 goals against, 727 save percentage. It'll be interesting to see if they go, who they go with in the net for Philly, because this is Tampa coming to town, and we'll see how this turns out, if this turns out to be a really high-scoring game, because if it's Domingue and Pickard, for instance, it could be. We could be seeing like a 5-4, 6-5 type game. And after the games tonight, that would be a welcome change. Shot differentials, both of them are in the plus. Tampa's plus 34, which is actually lower than I'd expected. Philadelphia's at plus 11. Hits per game, Tampa's pretty decent there, 25.6. Philly is 23.2, so they're not at the bottom, they're right around the middle. Last 10 games, Tampa's 6-4, they won their last game. Philly's 5-4-1, and they've lost their last 2. So Philly definitely looking to get things back on track. And they've got a team coming in that really doesn't want to have that happen and wants to move 1 point ahead of Toronto for the lead in that division. So William Nylander can sit out for a while longer because Toronto's number 1 in the division and kind of number 1 in the East. So this is bizarro world to some people, but I'm telling you, Toronto's a real deal. Anyways, moving on to Buffalo. Speaking of real deals, Buffalo went in and won in Winnipeg tonight in a shootout. Gutsy win for Buffalo. Now they move on to Mini. Minnesota 12-5-2. Buffalo 11-6-2. And what's interesting is if Buffalo wins this in regulation, they have the same record as Minnesota. It is an amazing run that Buffalo's on. Skinner 14 goals and 7 assists. Of course, Skinner's been the toast of the town. He is scoring at a rate he never has in his career. This has never happened. Eichel 4 goals, 16 assists for him. Pominville 8 goals and 7 assists. Reinhart 2 goals, 11 assists. Sherry with 6 goals, 4 assists. Okposo 5 goals, 5 assists. Ristolainen 2 goals, 7 assists, and Dahlin with a goal and 7 assists rounds out the top 8 for Buffalo. And Dahlin is starting to show what we had all expected from him as a rookie. Don't be surprised if he gets into the Calder conversation really quick here. On the Minnesota side of things, Granlund 10 goals, 9 assists, leads the way for Minnesota. Parise 7 goals, 9 assists. Koivu 4 goals and 10 assists. Suter 3 goals, 12 assists. Zucker 6 goals, 8 assists. Eric Stahl also has 6 goals and 8 assists. Dumba 7 goals, 4 assists, and Coyle 3 goals and 7 assists to round out the scoring for the Minnesota Wild. In net, no confirmation for Buffalo. I'm kind of expecting Ullmark because Hutton played tonight. Hutton now has an 8-6-1 record with a 2.52 goals against, 918 save percentage. Ullmark 3-0-1 record, 2.79 goals against, 915 save percentage. There is a bend don't break that goes on with Buffalo goaltending right now, where they're good. They're not, in the Vezina territory, but they don't break either. You don't see very many games where you're saying this year, well, Buffalo lost because their goaltending wasn't good enough, which we heard a lot of last year. On the Minnesota side of things, Stalock 3-1 record, 2.73 goals against, 905 save percentage. Dubnyk's been confirmed as starting tomorrow, 9-4-2 record, 2.32 goals against, 926 save percentage. So he's already looking for win number 10. Very underrated goaltender. Absolutely. Shot differentials. This is an odd one because Buffalo's at +5 and Minnesota's at -13. So they're both pretty darn close to even on that score. Hits per game, not a lot in these either. Buffalo 17.9, Minnesota 19.5. So look for a low hitting game between these two. When you look at their last 10, Buffalo's 6-2-2. They've won their last 4. Minnesota's 7-3, and they won their last game, which of course was against Vancouver. So both teams in their winning streaks. Vancouver's in there because of course they are. Rough road trip. This should be quite the game though, between two teams that were not expected to be as good as they are right now. And I wouldn't be surprised if Skinner gets another winner, maybe gets a hat trick, ends up with 80 goals this year somehow, and signs a $15 million a year contract. He seems to be on that kind of a pace right now. It's a good thing he was scoreless in his first 4 games, because I tell you otherwise, who knows where he'd be at right now. Next up, Florida. Well, Florida, you screwed up last night in Columbus. Let's see what you do tomorrow night in New York against the Rangers, who have to be angry after the 7-5 loss they took against the New York Islanders. So both of these teams come into this game having allowed 7 goals against, and both of them have goaltenders who are very likely going to the Hall of Fame. So those two things don't really necessarily go together. On the Florida side of things with scoring, Dadonov leads the way with 8 goals, 9 assists. Hoffman, who's on a 14-game point streak, 7 goals, 9 assists for him. Yandel, 4 goals, 12 assists. Huberdeau, 4 goals, 11 assists. Barkov, 5 goals, 9 assists. Trocheck, 3 goals, 10 assists. Bjugstad, 4 goals, 5 assists. And Frankie Vetrano, 5 goals, 1 assist for him. On the Rangers side of things, Zibanejad, 7 goals, 9 assists. Kreider, 10 goals, 5 assists. Hayes, 4 goals, 8 assists. Pionk, 3 goals, 9 assists. Howden, 4 goals and 7 assists. VC with 6 goals, 4 assists. Zuccarello has been dropping quite steadily. 3 goals, 7 assists. He was the number 2 scorer not that long ago. Buchnevich, 5 goals and 4 assists for him. Goaltenders, no confirmation on goaltenders at the time I'm recording this. Hutchinson, who's in the minors right now, has a 1-1-2 record, 4.17 goals against, 839 save percentage. Reimer, 2-4-1, 3.04 goals against, 899 save percentage. I would expect Luongo to be right back in there. He is a goaltender that basically will say, all right, I screwed up last game. I want the next start. 4-1 record for him, 2.18 goals against, 930 save percentage. So he had a 956. It dropped by 26 points in one game. That's what a bad game will do for you. On the Rangers side of things, Georgiev has a 3-2 record with a 3.6 goals against, 894 save percentage. Lundqvist, who I expect to start, 6-2 record, 2.76 goals against, 915 save percentage. So both Lundqvist and Luongo are coming into this game with something to prove. I expect them to be against each other, and I expect a lot of fun saves when they play against each other. When you look at shot differentials, it's different. Florida is a plus 80, and the Rangers are a negative 68. When you look at hit totals, Florida 18.7, and the Rangers 23.1 hits per game. So difference there in the way they play. Last 10, however, is very similar. Florida 6-4, they lost their last game. The Rangers are 6-3-1, and they lost their last game. So it's going to be interesting to see who comes out ahead in that one. If I had to hazard a guess, I'd say Florida should come out strong. I do think they're the better team of the two teams, but the Rangers have been proving me wrong a lot lately, so don't necessarily write that one down or go betting or any of that stuff, because I don't condone that, because I know I'm bad at giving advice, and a game like this is really truly kind of completely unpredictable. That being said, let us move on to Columbus, who, coming off of a couple of wins, gets to go in against Carolina, a team that shoots a lot. A ton. And Columbus is 11-6-2, whereas Carolina's 8-7-3. If Carolina's really and truly going to rejoin the race for the playoffs, a good move would be winning in regulation against Columbus tomorrow night. We'll see if they have it in them. Scoring leaders for Columbus, things are really spread out evenly with Columbus. It's hard to shut any one guy down. Panarin still leads them in scoring with 5 goals and 13 assists. Atkinson, 9 goals, 7 assists. Dubois, 9 goals and 6 assists. Duclair, 8 goals, 4 assists. Foligno, 6 goals, 6 assists. Werenski, 3 goals, 9 assists. Wenberg, 1 goal, 10 assists. And Anderson's on the board with 8 goals and 2 assists. On the Carolina side of things, Aho, 5 goals, 17 assists for 22 points. Teravainen, 4 goals, 11 assists. Ferland, 9 goals, 4 assists. Williams, 1 goal and 10 assists. Stahl with 5 goals, 3 assists. Svechnikov, 4 goals, 4 assists. Falk with 1 goal, 7 assists. And Slavin rounds out the top 8 with 2 goals and 5 assists. Goaltenders, no confirmation on that yet. Korpisalo has a 5-0-2 record, 3.68 goals against, 885 save percentage. I'm guessing goalie Bob goes in the net here, 6-6 record for him, 2.74 goals against, 912 save percentage, and it's been getting better. Carolina, Mrazek, 3-3-2 record, 2.75 goals against, 880 save percentage. My guess is Darling starts tomorrow. He has a 2-2-1 record, 2.79 goals against, 913 save percentage. And McElhinney, a 3-3-2 record, 2.81 goals against, 884 save percentage for him. Shot differentials, this is completely different. Columbus is plus 28, respectable, right? Carolina's plus 281. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely, completely, totally ridiculous. That's like NHL, EA Sports games numbers. I've outshot a team by 281 shots. That's just, it's not in the realm of humans, but they're shooting from everywhere. And when you look at actual scoring chances per game, they're right around even with their opposition. So they've got to figure out how to take the right shots and wait for those. And we'll see if they start figuring that out. Hits per game, Columbus 16.6 and Carolina with a surprisingly high 25.6. So Carolina could very well wear down Columbus with more hits than Columbus is dishing out. But in the last 10, it's definitely two different stories here. Columbus is 6-2-2 with wins in their last 2, and Columbus is 4-4-2 winning their last game, which was over Chicago. It'll be interesting to see how Columbus does on the road in Carolina. Again, it's a team that shoots a ton. So Bobrovsky's save percentage could be held by that. If he plays well, he could end up with a save percentage around 916, 917 by the end of the night. And we could be talking about how, Bobrovsky's back and maybe he's worth $11 million after all. No, I don't think anybody's necessarily going to be saying that, but we could be saying he's back. And last but not least, finally there, the LA Kings 6-11-1 after tonight's win over the Chicago Blackhawks. Are they out of it? Yeah, absolutely. They would need to win another 6 or 7 in a row before we can say, okay, now they're back into it. But they get a shot at something tomorrow night going in against Nashville. Now, on working in their favor, Nashville's not as good at home as they've been on the road. Nashville's also been struggling their last few games to get goals. This is all good news for LA. The problem is LA's at the bottom of the standings and Nashville's right near the top. So that's a problem. Kovalchuk leads the way in scorers with LA with 5 goals, 9 assists. Toffoli now has 5 goals and 5 assists to get up to second on the chart. Carter, 4 goals, 6 assists. Doughty, 1 goal, 9 assists. Iafallo, still with 3 goals, 5 assists. Kopitar, still with 4 goals and 2 assists. And that 6 points for Kopitar in 18 games really stands out. Absolutely stands out as, wow, this is not good. Not a good season for him. Martinez, 1 goal, 5 assists. And Brown, still with 3 goals, 2 assists, gets on the board. So with 5 points over an 18-game schedule, you can get into the top 8 scorers for LA. It's been a rough season. On the Nashville side of things, Forsberg, 12 goals, 6 assists. Johansson, 3 goals, 15 assists. Turris, 3 goals, 11 assists. Arvidsson, 8 goals, 5 assists. Yossi, 5 goals, 7 assists. Subban, 2 goals, 10 assists. Ekholm, 3 goals, 8 assists. And Hartman with 5 goals and 4 assists rounds out the top 8 for Nashville. No confirmation on goalies. Campbell, a 5-7 record, 2.33 goals against, 923 save percentage. He is still, of course, injured. Quick is still injured. I'll give his numbers next. He's 0-3-1, 4.55 goals against, 845 save percentage. It would be tempting to start Peterson on back-to-back nights, considering the win he got tonight in Chicago. He, of course, is now 1-0 with a 1.19 goals against, 961 save percentage. My guess is Budaj goes in net. He's got an 0-1 record, 5.5 goals against, 833 save percentage. That's my guess, is that Desjardins going to come back tomorrow night with Budaj. But honestly, if it was me and I'm looking at a 6-11-1 record, I'm like, you know what, kid? You did it for us last night. I'm putting you in there again tonight. I go with Peterson and I ride that and see how far that hot ticket will get you. On the Nashville side, I would expect Rinne, 6-2-1 record, 1.53 goals against, 948 save percentage. But if they go with Saros, his record's excellent as well. 7-3 record, 2.94 goals against, 903 save percentage. So the save percentage is down there, but the win-loss is still pretty solid. Shooting difference, LA's allowing 43 more shots over the course of the season than they've got, which is a lot better than you might expect. Tells you maybe goaltending's been a problem for them at times. And Nashville's only 45 shots in the positive, meaning goaltending's got to save their asses at times. When you look at hits, LA's at 22 hits per game. Nashville, I believe, is the league low at 15.1 hits per game. Which there's two things with hits per game. You can get a lot of hits per game by not having the puck. If you get a hit in a game and you have the puck, it's probably interference. So, again, the hit totals are nice. It's fun to look at, but sometimes hit totals can also tell you who doesn't have the puck. So the fact that Nashville doesn't have very many hits may just be that they carry the puck more than the other team. Puck possession numbers are probably excellent for them. LA's got a 4-6 record in their last 10, but of course they won tonight. They're going to be trying to make it 2 in a row tomorrow. And for Nashville, they're 6-3-1 in their last 10, but they've lost their last 3 games. So we'll see whether or not those trends continue. Let me know which trends you think are going to continue in the morning. That's why I'm doing this tonight, because of the matinee games in the morning. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, it's Saturday. Saturdays are fun. It means there's matinee games. And yes, I will do a separate video reviewing the matinee games, separate from reviewing the late games. That way the late games video doesn't take forever, like this one. And then I can get the power rankings up before I'm dead. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for being out there. I will talk to you again soon.